what I call it as audience analysis, right? So in case if you are from some sort of programming background, and if you are from not from programming background, non-technical, whatever, right? So you can simply write some 2-3 words about yourself in the chat window, so that I have the idea about exactly the audience. So it will help me in delivering and smoothing the content for all of you, which will create a good balance with the content. Okay, that's great, Priya. Weaver. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great. So I can see here. That's great. Many are from the technical background. So Dilip is from non-programming. Realme is from non-programming. There are some people from non-programming background as well. Okay. Okay, non-programming, C Sharp. I love C Sharp a lot. I've spent at least 5 years. I've given 5 years of my life to C Sharp. That's great. That's good, Aarti. Okay, 2 years in Python. That's great. Okay. I can see a lot of people who are having the technical background here. That will help me a lot in delivering the content smoothly here. Apart from that, in case there are some participants who are from non-technical background, so I'll take care of those participants as well. Okay. Now this is a first session, guys. This first session, I let me set the mindset here, guys. This is a first session. In the first session, especially, I have designed this sessions keeping the starters in mind and people who are already having some sort of knowledge in the programming background. So definitely, I'm going to answer all of you also, right? So just have some patience with me so that I deliver the content sequentially and in a flow, right? Okay. Now there are a few instructions from my side for all of you, and the instructions are like, so in case if you want to ask me any questions, right? So please use the chat window first of all, right? So you can use the chat window for asking me the questions. So whenever you are asking me any question, right? So make sure that the two, right? The two label should be pointing to all panelists and attendees, right? So that whatever you are asking me, right? And that goes to the other participants as well, right? So this happens a lot with me in my other sessions. So generally, what happens exactly, the participants basically, they post the questions, but privately to me, right? So whenever you are posting some questions, I request that post the questions to the panelists and attendees as well. Apart from that, there is a Q&A section in the Zoom application, so you can use the Q&A section also. And yeah, one more thing I would like to point out here. The point is that we'll work as a team, guys. So here, once again, I would like to point that we'll work as a team. So in case if the team is asking some question and if you know the answer to that, please post the answers as well, so that I can see an interactive session here and a teamwork here, right? Okay, fine. Great. Okay, great. That's great, Himanshu. So let's get started, guys. So first of all, let's discuss the agenda here, right? So what we are aiming here today. So in today's session, I'm aiming for the essentials of Python. So in today's session, I'll be telling about how to get started with Python. So assuming that if there's a person who is starting the Python for the first time, so from A to B to C and to the letter Z, so from where you will get started and where you'll get ended kind of thing, right? So we are going to lay the foundation of that start, from where to start. Apart from that, we'll be talking about the installation part here, right? So installation is very important, guys. Why it is important, because unless until you don't know how to set up the software in your system, you won't be able to do the practicals, right? So that is very important. And the third point here is hello world. So here it is not about hello world. Here it is about the basic structure or the fundamental structure of your program, how that program is supposed to be uh, written, or how that program is supposed to be, executed, kind of thing, and the structure. Then we'll be talking about something called basic data structures in Python, right? So we must have heard of data types. So that what we'll be talking about. And one more thing I would like to repeat again here, and that thing is, once again, if you know the content already, I appreciate, and please allow some time so that I can pick the advanced contents as per the sessions are proceedings, isn't it? So that's what how it goes like. And then next we'll talk about strings, right? So strings is my favorite topic. So I'll be talking about exactly what is string manipulation, how you can deal, how you can work with strings, and strings is something that really helps in data analytics, right? So in most of the data analytics operations, right? So when we talk about data science, so data science includes data analytics as well. So your big data Hadoop or your pandas, right? So this Python libraries and all. So these are somewhere connected with the strings and all, right? So that we'll be talking about, and then we'll be having a lot of practicals and exercises, right? Because practicals is fun, right? So that what we'll be doing today, and then there'll be a beautiful summary or a conclusion of what we have done today. So this is how I have planned the session, guys. So let's get started. So I would like to ask my participants, guys. So are you ready for this good start? So can I see some enthusiasm and the passion here, guys? All right, that's great. All right. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sumit. Thank you for that lovely sentence here. Thank you, everyone. I can see a very good start here. So once again, guys, this is a team, right? So this is a team. The ultimate idea is to create a strong foundation of technical knowledge, technical vocabulary. So here we go. All right. So here we are talking about a language, a programming language called Python, right? So it doesn't matter whether you have done Python earlier or not. Believe me, I'm saying truth, right? So it doesn't matter at all, because Python, it is a fact, right? It is a fact that Python holds the easiest level of complexity, right? So I'm including both the words here, right? So it is one of the easiest language available on this planet, right? So it's not like C++ or Java style programming. So this is something that developers love. Let me tell you a story here, right? So when I was a C sharp programmer when I started my career, right? So I did a lot of C sharp. I used to see a lot of sharping like that. So then later I shifted to Java. I did a lot of Java programming, and then J2E, and then that RMI remoting, JDBC and all, and then EJB. Even I remember EJB as well, right? So we used to do a lot of programming. So it was really hectic. When we are learners or when we are students, right? So we talk about programming and coding, right? We talk about solving the problem statement, right? So when you are at the production level, right? So these are two different things, right? So being at a student level and being at a production level, the priorities changes, right? So the priority changes in these two different sections. So when you're at production level, the priorities are different. So when I talk about priorities, the priorities are like, let's take an example of, let's say, deadline, right? So let's take an example of deadline. So when you are a student, there is merely a deadline to complete something, right? So you are free to do any problem statement with the given period of time, with any algorithm or with any performance of your technology. But when you're into production, right? So when you're into production, you have a lot of constraints. You need your technology to be precisely fast. You need your technology to be precisely automated. You need your technology to be to be to enable you to rapidly develop the applications, isn't it? So Python has everything, right? So Python is first of all, Python is easy. So in case if a company is shifting the technology from, let's say, from Java to Python, so a company doesn't have to deal with a lot of complexities of how the manpower will be skilled on Python. So that's what I want to tell you, all of you, right? So if I'm running a company, and if I want to shift my developers from Java or C# to Python, it is a matter of hardly a week. in some cases even 2 to 3 days, just to understand the fundamentals of Python. That it's that easy, right? So you know, recently, I'll give you an example here. Recently, I was delivering a session on chain code, right? So chain code is a language which basically it's a technology we use in Hyperledger, and it's kind of blockchain technology kind of thing. It ruins the participants when you understand or when you go through the chain code kind of thing. So why I'm telling you all these examples, because when you compare what is difficult, what is complicated, and what you are learning is something which is very easy and which is easy to grab and easy to understand. So that really creates a healthy mindset, and that smoothens the proceedings, right? That's what I'm aiming for right now, isn't it? All right. Now, in the next phase, whatever I'm going to talk about, this is going to need a small prerequisite of some sort of programming, right? So just have this thing in mind. Uh, Python, right? So Python is a general purpose programming language, right? So it's a programming language, right? So when I say programming language, you write instructions, right? You give instructions to computer by using this Python language. So it's a general purpose, right? And it's object oriented too, right? So when I say object oriented, right, what does it mean? It means a lot of things actually, right? So I want to pinpoint some things there, right? So for this pinpointing, I'm going to use a notepad here, and a small alert for all of you guys, and a small alert for all of you. I'm not going to extend the session by briefing you out, right? So because I'm going to tell you a lot of important things here. So the things which are important has to be precise, accurate, sharp, and conclusive, right? So listen to me carefully. So I'm going to tell you some point-based learnings there, right? So here I'm talking about Python. So Python is basically a general-purpose programming language, right? So you can use it for any kind of programming, right? So Python is object oriented, right? So when I say object oriented, guys, right, I'm not asking you a question, guys, just saving some time here, right? So when I say object oriented, by that I mean that this Python can implement the real world programming, right? So in simple one liner, right? So if you want to implement the real world behavior in Python, you can write the instructions, right? So you are given all the keywords, all the some sort of concepts, right, such as classes, objects, encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance. These concepts belongs to object orientation, right? So this language enables a programmer to write a problem statement that resembles or expresses the real world things, isn't it? And parallelly, it is a procedural too, right? So it's a versatile language. It's a versatile language. So why I'm saying it's a versatile language, whether you are a C developer or a C++ developer, just example, or a Java developer, right, or a C Sharp developer, you will understand this thing, that all C++, Java, and C Sharp are object-oriented style languages, isn't it? So you create classes, you create objects, you create functions, you call functions via object. I'm not confusing you. You understand exactly what I'm talking about here. And C is a procedural style, right? So in this language, you don't create classes, you don't create objects. But here, what is special about Python? Python is versatile. So why I'm saying Python is versatile? The reason because Python supports both the type of or both the styles of programming. Whether you are a C developer, you can write the procedural style code. Whether you are an object-oriented developer, you can write the code in object-oriented way, right? So you don't need to learn anything new here, right? So if you know what is a class in Java, that's the same thing in Python. If you know what is a function in C++ or C, that's the same thing in Python, right? So it's like this, right? So hope I have made my points clear and concise, right? That's a pinpointing information about Python's object orientation. And Python is interpreted, right? Python is interpreted. Okay, so when I say Python is interpreted, so here I'll take an example of HTML, right? And I'll take an example of Java. So in Java, basically, you compile the source code, you generate intermediate code, something called bytecode, and then you produce the output. So some intermediate code is involved here, isn't it? I hope you're getting right. This requires some sort of prerequisite. Okay. Now in HTML, so if you execute HTML, you will see that there is no generation of intermediate code in HTML. You simply double click on HTML file and it pops up, isn't it? So it's called interpretation, right? So without any intermediate style of, you know, without generating any intermediate code, it basically directly executes, right? Okay, I'll just make it clear here. Interpreted and compiled styles of execution. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you Satya. Right, Satya has a question. I'll come to the question here. So here I'm talking about the styles of execution, guys. Okay, let's fix this as a header. What we're talking about here, we're talking about styles of execution. So when I say styles of execution, there are two styles of execution. One is interpreted and second is compiled. So what is interpreted? When the source code basically directly gets converted into machine code and you get the output in a layman sense. Whereas compiled code, in compiled code, the source code is basically converted into some intermediate code and then you get the output, isn't it? So, but what we're talking about here, Python is versatile, right? It supports both the type of executions, right? So, Satya, as per your question, how secure is code then? So, Satya has a question. So, when we talk about code security here, right? Because in interpretation, the code is not secure. Why? Because your code is open like HTML and it's directly getting converted into the machine code and you're getting the output kind of thing. But here, for the security reasons, you can also compile your code into .pyc file. So there's something called .pyc. Not confusing you guys, right? You can skip this point, right? Okay. So you can compile the program and you can get the output and also the intermediate code, right? So it supports both the type of execution. Right? Once again, a summary: Python is interpreted plus it's compiled as well, right? So we'll see in the practicals exactly how it is interpreted, how it is compiled, but just for the sake of a strong foundation, a strong knowledge about exactly what we're talking about. So this is Python, guys, right? So every time I'm talking about something called versatility, right? So you need to understand this thing, guys. The technology that we are talking about here today is versatile, right? It's like intermediate code, right? So it's like I'll give an example here, like .java. It's like bytecode, and then you get the output, isn't it? And then in C sharp, it's like you have CL, and then you have output, isn't it? So and in C and C++, you have something called object code, and then you have output, isn't it? It's like this. So Jyoti, I hope you got the answer. So I can see here participants, everybody is, is posting to panelists only. I request everyone to please post the questions to attendees as well, isn't it? So that they can see exactly what is happening here. So Aditya, there's a question. People say that Python is slower than Java. I don't think so. Whenever I have done any, okay, in simple words, Aditya, Python is very fast than Java, right? I'll show you even, right, in my sessions. Yeah, Lakshmi, Python is heavily performance language. It's a heavy performance language. There are a lot of distributions of Python available. Even Intel, few months ago, like few months back, they launched their super performing, super fast Intel distribution, Python distribution by the Intel, right? So it is always there. Scalability is there, Lakshmi, and we achieve scalability, by I'll give you a strong reason behind scalability, and that is distributed computing, right? So when we talk about distributed computing, that's how we achieve scalability in Python, right? So that is one of the factors that is required. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay. Yeah, Satya, the code is platform independent. That's true. Okay. PS, that it's not that much low, but it has all the modules and libraries available equivalent to what we have in C. It's equally competent language, I'll say that. Even in some cases, you know, Python uses C behind the scenes. Yeah, Himanshu, that's absolutely true as per your question. Okay, but Himanshu, I would like to add one more point here. Behind any company, behind any brand that we see through our eyes or windows, uh, it doesn't rely on one technology. There are a plethora of technologies that they rely on. So it will be not the right answer to say that one thing is powering the whole enterprise, right? So it's like this. Hope you understood. Okay, thank you, Himanshu. Okay, and Python is interactive too, right? So I'll show you, right? I told you about the object orientation. I told you about the interpretation. I'm talking about interactive here, right? So what is interactive here? I'll just show you something here, right? So let me show you some points here, right? Okay, I'll go to properties here. I'll just increase the font size. Okay, Shivam, it's a very good question from you. Why Python did not get boom? It was there since long. Yes, Shivam, Python was there since long, and Shivam, it was not there that it is. It was never the case that Python did not get any boom, right? So I'll give an example. Somewhere in 2008, right? So when I was in the Java domain at that time, I did a market research and I found that 60% of the market was captured by Python at that time. But since before that, I was since like during the students time, I'll say like that, during the students time, we are actually dominated by the Java and Java terms by the faculties or academicians. So they rule Java in our minds, right? But it was not the case, right? So there are many technologies in the market which we don't talk generally in our locals. So maybe it is that, like it is the case like that. Yeah, Anurun Chaudhary, that's completely true, but not everything is solved by the C++ or C libraries behind the scenes, right? Yeah. So Pawan has a good question. He says that Java and C Sharp are similar. What makes Python different from these languages, apart from execution versatility? I'll give you a small example here. First of all, Python, the library, the library support behind Python is very vast, right? So let's take an example of robotics or artificial intelligence. So okay, let's take an example of AI, right? So when we talk about AI, right? So in AI, you will easily you in the market you will easily find that okay, these libraries are available for artificial intelligence or for let's say deep learning or neural networks or NLP, right? So it's like that. But in Java, we don't find such kind of you can say developments, right? So in Java mostly focused on web, right, and Windows, right? So web and Windows was something which is the strongest part of Java, but Java was not designed keeping different domains in mind, right? But uh, this Python is supported by a huge vast community, as it is not endorsed by one individual company such as Java is endorsed by Oracle, but Python is endorsed by a community of thousands or even lakhs of people, right? So they're doing the development in various domains. So because of this vast community support, we have libraries which are very efficient, popular, and the best part I'll say that is free and open source, right? We do have alternates available in Java as well, but the industry loves open source. That's how these companies are working. Okay. Karin says, Okay, Deepthi says, why not R for data science and why Python? So here's the answer, Deepthi. R is mainly a statistical language, right? So you do generally statistical work, right? So basically, like uh, it's kind of analytics, right? So R is okay. In simple words, R is a domain-specific language where you do statistics, like such as finding the data, analyzing the data, kind of thing, and visualizing the data, plotting the graphs and all. But Python is a multi-domain language, right? Python is a multi-domain language. In Python, you can develop a website, plus you can do data analytics, plus machine learning, plus you can plot the graphs. But all these things cannot be done in a single language called R. So R is something which is specific to analytics, let's say, but you cannot develop a website using R. But okay, let's take an example here. So if you are developing a product for the clients or for product for the public, so in that case, you cannot say to the public, okay, write these commands and get your answer. No, you need a website as well, right? So Python is something which gives you a framework, right? So it gives you a full set of tools which you can use for complete for creating a complete product. That's what I want to say here. I hope you understood, right? I think that's the answer. Okay, thank you, Vinod, for that lovely link. Okay. Parin, there's a question from you. Parin says, what do you mean by libraries? So when I say libraries, that basically means that the predefined set of keywords, the predefined set of functions which are given to us by the technology architect or the language architect, so that we can use them and perform the required action, such as, let's say, printing the message and accepting the input. A simple example. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Imanshu, for that. Okay. Yeah, Rahul, R is also having a lot of libraries. You know, Lakshmi, I'll tell you. You know, Lakshmi Narayan, there's a good question from you. Lakshmi, have you ever seen a TensorFlow example? So I'll give an example of, let's say, object detection in TensorFlow, right? So when you detect an object in TensorFlow, you won't believe you'll be requiring more than 8 to 10 different modules for the single activities, right? So the default J in Java, right? Okay, why? So in D4J, we might not get all the libraries or modules of function that we require for for performing the certain operations. But Python is flexible. It gives you flexibility to choose from multiple modules available in the domain, right? So it's like this. Yeah, definitely, Ajay. I will answer your question as well, that how to plug the different libraries in the Python. Okay. Okay, so I think we have answered a lot of questions here. Now I would like to, proceed further with my next line, because we have a lot of things to cover. Okay, okay. So these are the reasons here, guys. Guys, am I audible? Okay. Hey guys, okay guys, am I audible? Yes. All right, guys. Let's let's finish it quickly. Exactly why we need Python, and there were questions exactly why we need to learn Python, why not Java, and this and that. Okay. So here, these are some of the points that I would like to discuss here one by one, and I will be, discussing the points in the conclusive way. So the first thing, why we need Python or why we love Python, why the industry is behind Python. The first point is multi-purpose, right? So when I say multi-purpose, that basically means that you can use Python for various types of application developments. You can use Python for graphical application development such as GUI. You can use Python for web development, right? So you can use Python for even mobile application development as well. So it's not a specific language. So let's say an example of PHP. So PHP is a language basically, dedicated itself for web development, isn't it? So you cannot use PHP for development any other than web, right? So, but Python is multi-purpose, right? So that's the first thing. The second feature of Python, why everybody loves Python, and the second point is object-oriented, right? So when I say object-oriented, what does it mean? Once again, I'm repeating this point here. So when I say Python is object-oriented, that basically means that it can, it enables a developer to implement realistic behavior, real life behaviors in programming sense, right? So it's fully object-oriented. That's true. Third point is interpreted. Yes, it is interpreted. And what do you mean by interpretation? I'll just show you here. So this is a shell that I'm using right now. I'll just tell you exactly how to open this shell. But for the time being, I want you to observe the output only, right? Okay, I'll take you here, right? How I got here. So this is something called, a shell, right? So it's like shell, right? So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something called interactive, right? So what does interactive means? So interactive basically means like this: print hello Python. So you can see here that I can interact with the Python environment by writing instructions directly here. So I said print hello Python, so it says hello Python. So if I say, let's say, hey Python, create a variable jar and with the value 10. So it is going to create a variable jar with the value 10, right? So if I say, hey Python, print the jar, so it prints the jar, right? So this is printing the 10, right? So what is happening here? There is an interaction, right? There is an interaction which is happening here between whom? Between developer and Python environment, isn't it? So it's like this. So this is what we call interactive, right? Interaction. So who are the two people here who are interacting? The developer and the Python environment. And we're interacting through shell. Okay. And it's interpreted. You can see that when I'm writing the source code, my source code is directly giving me the output, isn't it? So you can see here, when I'm writing the source code, it is directly giving me the output without any generation of intermediate code, right? So it's beautiful. Now the fourth point here is that focuses on readability and productivity, right? So what is that? So in order to explain you the fourth point here, what is focus on readability and productivity, everyone, a high alert for all of you, see this demonstrations carefully. Okay, everyone, okay. Neha, there is an internal compilation that is always there actually. Okay, so here we are talking about uh, focus on readability, right? Hey, all right, just give me a moment here, right? Okay, let me align the windows here. So I want to show you something here, guys, and I hope you will remember this point. Okay. So let's create a demo in Java, class demo, public static void main. I forgot to tell you guys, especially in my sessions, the training style is basically visualization, right? So I believe in visualization or a picture of things before telling you about exactly what we are talking about, right? So this notepad demonstration is basically there for the visualization purpose only, right? So once again, one more point in the training session, visualization is the key to learning here, right? So visualize things. Okay. So here, this is a point about focus on readability, right? Okay. Okay, fine. So first of all, on the left side, right, everyone, on the left side, obviously some Java developers also know this, that this is the fundamental structure of Java program, isn't it? So this is the fundamental structure of Java program, and here in Python, let's see how a fundamental structure or the basic structure looks like. So in Python, it looks like this, and finish. Even not semicolon, no semicolon required. So here is the beauty, guys. Right? So we don't need a class, a proper class in Python, right? So if you want to print something, you simply say print, and it happens like that. It's like uh, it's like a blink of an eye, right? It's like that. Okay, so this is the basic structure looks like in Java, and this is how it looks like in Python, right? So, and now if you want to, code the same demonstration in Python, right? So it is going to be like this, right? So it's like we don't have, main in Python, but let's do this. Def main print. Right. Okay. All right. So here you can see that, guys. First of all, guys, in Python we don't have curly braces. Observe, right? Let's give a pause of 2 seconds here. In Python we don't have curly braces on the right side, guys. Right. So how we define the scope, guys? Right? How we define the scope? We define the scope by following a process called indentation, right? So this gap, you can see the gap here from the left, that is called indent. So if anything is following the same indent, so that is the scope, right? So I'm going to talk about this indentation further in my programs. Don't worry. It's just to give you an idea exactly how things are managed in Python, right? Okay. So Charan, class is not necessary in Python. Self is a parameter, right? Yeah. Okay, that's great. So guys, I just wanted to show you the structure, right? Guys, I'm not aiming for you all of you to learn this thing, right? If you know this thing, it's well and good. Or if you don't know this thing and it is new to you, it's okay. Just maintain pace, right? Maintain pace. I'm going to come back on these topics because we have a dedicated and separate session on working with classes and everything, right? On self and functions and objects, right? So you don't need to worry about it, right? So V Vamsi has a question. He says, "What is indentation?" Indentation is basically, in simple words, when you give gap from the left, right? So it's like this. So I'll just show you an example here. I'll show you one more example here. So it's like sun, okay, galaxy, planets, okay, Earth, Venus, Mars. So you can see here, guys, in VVAMC, for you especially, dear. So you can see here that there is a gap from the left. So planets is within galaxies, isn't it? And there are two, indent from here, right? Indent one, indent two. So this basically shows that this Earth is within planet, right? So it's like this. So if you want to, visualize this thing, so you can visualize this thing like this, right? So this is wrong. The second case is wrong because in Python we don't have braces. But for your understanding, I just want to show you this, and this indentation or scoping is equivalent. Dhaval, variables are there. I'll show you how to manage the variables or the scopes in Python, right? So that there is a scope in Python. We do have private and sorry, local and global scopes in Python. We do have those things, right? Okay. Yeah, Parin, first of all, you don't need to worry about exactly your about your problem, because right now I'm not aiming to teach the syntaxes to my participants. Right now, what I'm aiming for is that you observe how it looks, right? That's it. That's it. I want you to see how it looks. That's it. I have a dedicated session for each and everything, right? I'm going to tell you. Don't worry. Okay. Then we have, okay, I'm taking too much time here. Okay. Fifth point, batteries included, right? So it's about libraries, guys, right? So we have a total of 98,524 plus libraries. So what does this mean? This means that you have a pre-coded codings for different or various domains. So if you want to go into robotics, you have codes available that will help you in, getting a robot conquer the world. And if you are interested in, let's say, data analytics, we do have codes which will help you in analyzing the data. If you are interested in, let's say, graphics manipulation, so we have codes which will help you in manipulating the JPGs and PNG files, isn't it? So we have various libraries, pre-codes available with us, right? Then there's something called interactive shell. This is called interactive shell. The second last point which says interactive shell is this, right? This window, this environment is called interactive shell, where we can interact with the Python, isn't it? And then the last point is cross platform. Can I ask my participants what this cross platform means? Let's see. Or in simple words, what is the benefit of being platform independent? City Rama, shell is not important. If you want to do any testing in point of programming, you can do you can use shell for testing environments, right? Not more than that. What's the benefit of being platform independent? Okay, yeah, that is right. Actually, the participants know it. Actually, it says that write once, run anywhere, everywhere. That's beautiful, I believe. Yeah, that's beautiful. But I'll tell you, yeah, decentralized. That's decentralized. True. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you one more perspective, guys. Imagine someday if you open a company and you have a great idea, which can save the earth, which can save the planet, and for that you need to develop an application which you are willing to sell to all the people using different operating systems. So if you want to create a product, if you want to create an application, right, and you are aiming to sell that product or application to multiple people using multiple operating systems, in that case you will be looking for technology which can run on multiple operating systems, isn't it? That is a commercial benefit. So here I'm talking about commercial benefit, guys, right? So companies choose platform independent technologies so that they can push the product into the tables, onto the systems of users using various operating systems. So it's one of the factor, right? It's just a commercial perspective, nothing else, right? Just a different thing. Yeah, Malik, you said it right. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, Malik, for that. Okay, it was lovely, yeah. So use of Python, guys. So I have a lot of people here, right? So in today's session, there are approximately 128 people, excluding 126. Okay, so some might be interested in web development, some might be interested in graphical elements, some might be interested in scientific and numeric applications, some might be interested in software elements, some might be interested in system administration, right? So for you, we have different libraries or modules available in Python, right? So let's say someone says, I want to become a web developer in Python. So after learning the core Python, right? So you need to learn the Django or Pyramid or Bottle, Tornado, Flask. So there are a lot of libraries available, right? So these are alternates. So if So this is just a future telling, isn't it? It's like future telling. So in case if you're interested in scientific applications, you need to learn SciPy, pandas, and all. So just giving you an aim, right? Just giving an aim, right? So in case if you're interested in something, you can simply pick that title and you can simply start studying that things, right? So this is part of data science programs and all. Okay, that was a beautiful slide. So who uses Python, guys? So here, I think you might be identifying some companies here. So it looks like I know Mozilla, Google, I know IBM, Yahoo, and NASA too. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Hi NASA. Okay. So why I added this website, this slide here, I just wanted to tell you guys that if these companies are convinced with the performance of Python, why we can't? Isn't it like this? Okay. The Onion is an American newspaper, right? So it's a newspaper actually, right? So like we have uh, Times of India in India, right? So it's like that. Okay. So here it is, guys. Rajeshwar has a question. He says that what is the difference between Python and IPython? Rajeshwar, just give me 10 minutes. I'm going to show you IPython, right? So as I told you earlier, visualization, right? So instead of talking, let's see the things here. Okay, guys. Let's. Okay. Where's my favorite picture here? All right. So there it goes. My favorite sound. Yes. Okay. So let's do the labs, guys. Let's get started with the practical, right? So we have already spent almost 1 hour with the theoretical part. Okay. So guys, before starting with the practicals labs, I would like to ask my participants, guys, do you have any other question that you want to ask me before proceedings, or are we good to go with the further labs and all? All right, that's great. So guys, how is the Josh right now? Let's see. Affirmative. That's my favorite word. Great. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's great. All right, guys. So let's get started. All right. So here, environment setup, right? All right, guys. So environment setup, guys, right? Okay, preparation, right? So let's do a small prepare here. Okay, multiple solutions for same problem with added advantage. This might sound confusing to all of you guys, right? But as this is a crash course, right? So I'm going to tell you, things here which might sound confusing to all of you. So you need to prepare accordingly, guys, right? In case if you have some notes and some pen and paper, you can simply, just write it down very exactly like, okay, this was for this and this for this, right? So it might sound confusing for all of you, right? So make sure you handle it accordingly. So for one thing, I'm going to show you multiple solutions here, right? So let's say if you're talking about environment setup, so there are multiple ways of setting up the environment, right? So in one shot, I'm going to tell you how the people have been doing the development for more than 5 years in in different ways, right? So in different ways. So it's your decision what way or what style you choose, right? So it will be your decision. So I'm going to give you multiple styles of programming, multiple environments of programming, multiple methods of programming, multiple methods of doing the execution, right? So just giving you the options, guys, right? So I'm not trying to confuse you, but having multiple sorts helps you in winning the battle, right? Okay, so here it goes like, so environment setup. Okay, so here it goes like, okay, great. Welcome to python.org website, guys. This is the website which is endorsing Python programs, Python programming, and this Python org, this Python endorses core Python, right? So this python.org website endorses core Python. So when I say core Python, what basically it means that no AI, no deep learning, no machine learning, no data analytics, no artificial intelligence, and no nothing else, right? Only basic Python, right? With simple variables, data structures, with simple input output, with exception handling, some sort of threading, right? With the basic file handling, right? So basic, right? So this includes the core Python, right? So how you want to get started? You can simply go to downloads and you can simply download Python 3.7.3, right? So this is something that you can do, right? So it's like this: Python 3.7.3. So you need to download this thing, guys, and after you have downloaded this file, actually I have prepared this thing here, so it's here like this. So you can see here, guys, this file. So this file is 24.2 MB, and this file is basically, a basic Python, right? It doesn't include the libraries. So when I say libraries, I mean to say these things, right? So we don't have Django, Pyramid, Bottle, Tkinter, SciPy, Buildboard, Ansible. All these libraries, which are for high-end development, are not available within this core Python, right? We do have options of installing the libraries, installing the modules. We do have that option, right? But that is a different case. We can do that, right? I'll show you exactly how we do that. But just keeping you aware what we are talking about here. Okay, so first is core Python. Okay, so this is python.org. Now in your case you can do this, but I don't suggest you to do this, right? Okay, skip it. This is just for information, just for knowledge. Let's come here. All right, Anaconda, right? Anaconda, guys. Now here we are at Anaconda, and on the right side, okay, Himaja has a question here. Okay, Himaja, that is python.org. I will simply, write on the URL here. Okay, okay, like this. Okay, so Himaja, that works, I believe, isn't it? Which one? Am I missing something here? Okay. sorry, Raghavendra. I have closed that content, I believe, right? Okay. But don't worry, it is recorded, right? Now let's proceed further. Now here, this is Anaconda, guys. I'm going to the download section here, right? So on the right side, you can see here, download, right? So first of all, go to anaconda.com here, right? So this is anaconda.com. And on the right side, we have a download button here, right? Just simply click on the download button. Once you click on the download button, you see the Python 3.7 here, right? And this is download, right? Yeah, this is the download button, and you can see here that this is a graphical installer of 637 MB, isn't it? So it's like this. So you need to download this one. Now, okay, distribution, right? Anaconda.com. So Python is available in two forms, guys. Okay, everyone, Python is available in two environments. One is core Python and one is distribution. So when I say distribution, distribution basically includes all the libraries, right? Okay. Distribution includes all the libraries, all the popular libraries that we might work with. Okay, I'll just show you here in the website. So in the Anaconda, you can see here there are some graphics which are given here, right? Okay. So you can see here we have some popular titles here, such as Jupyter, Spider, NumPy, SciPy, and Numba, right? Okay, pandas and Dask, right? So basically, these graphics, right? These are popular libraries used for various purposes. So in a distribution, you get all the libraries built in, right? You don't need to install a library separately, right? It's already there. So you get all the popular libraries, right? Libraries built in, right? So it's like this. And here, need to install library or modules, right? Both the same thing, right? Don't get confused. Separately, right? So I hope this clears the point here. So Rahul says, what is the difference between 3.7 and 2.7? There is a difference, Rahul. In 3.7, there is a addition of a lot of of functionality, keywords, and modules, and there are some syntax changes even, right? So in 2.7, there are a lot of things which were not present compared to the modern programming languages. Uh, like we have in Java and C Sharp, right? So the functionality which were present in other languages were added later in the 3.x version, right? Not only in 3.7. So 3.x version also introduces some syntactical changes even. So the programs which were written in 2.x version are sorry, are supposed to be executed in the 2.7 environment only or 2.x environment only. So the programs which are written in 3.x environment are supposed to be executed in 3.x environment only because of version conflicts and various syntax changes. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Rahul. Okay, I suggest any 3.x or higher version, right? I suggest any 3.x or higher version. Okay. So guys, can I ask my participants? Okay, are you aware of exactly how to from where you will be downloading the setups? Right? You got the idea, guys. And once again, you're not supposed to download the core Python. You'll be downloading the distribution, right? Distribution includes Python plus libraries. It includes Python plus libraries. That's great, Parin. Okay. Now, let me show you here, right? In my screen, you can see that this is Anaconda version, right? And okay, this is 5.2. It's a 631 MB, and this is a core Python. You'll be installing this one, okay? Now, the installation steps are simple, right? Yes, Mona Lisa, you can. So you need to double click on this Anaconda, and I will not be completing the installation here because I've already got it installed. So it is very easy to install. You need to simply follow a simple mantra here, and that mantra is basically click on the next button, and wherever you find the I accept checkbox, simply click that checkbox, right? Okay. Yeah, Tino, I'm going to tell you exactly where to write. Uh, uh, the programs, right? Sumit, you are right about your question. Vijay, that's the same case with me, right? That's the same case with me. Okay. So guys, once your Anaconda is installed in your system, you're going to look for Anaconda Navigator, right? So this is the program's menu which is available or which is given to you once the Anaconda is installed properly in your system. Everyone, right? Observe this, Anaconda Navigator, right? Now this is for the first time I'm using this Anaconda Navigator, and in the second time I won't be using this Anaconda Navigator. I'll show you the different approach of using this Anaconda environment. Okay, so once you start Anaconda Navigator, this is going to take a little time to start. Yes, okay. So okay, till the time, let's answer some questions here. Yes, there is a high probability of getting errors when you try to run programs written 2.x in the 3.x environment. That is a high probability. Ravi, you can. Shivam, we have to install 3.x. Absolutely 3.x. Yeah, because I do agree with your point. The navigator takes a lot of time to open because it loads a lot of libraries into the memory. Okay. Okay, as it is opening, let's talk about something called IDE, right? So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, right? Integrated Development Environment. So when I say IDE, right? So what does it mean, right? It means that the place where you code, compile, and execute, right? So generally an application, right? So yeah. So here we're talking about IDE, right? So IDE is a place where we code, compile, and execute the application, right? So you must have worked on some of the IDEs earlier, such as if you remember academics, we used to work on what was that blue screen? I'm forgetting that blue screen for use for writing C and C++ programming. Okay, I remember that window, I believe. Yeah, yes, thank you very much. That was Turbo C. Okay, that's great. I still remember Alt F9 was the compilation and Control F9 was the execution, I believe. Okay, let it be. Yeah, I have some beautiful examples with me, right? We have Eclipse, we have Visual Studio, we have IntelliJ, right? We have Turbo C++, we have Visual Studio Code, we have Atom, we have Sublime Text, we have Notepad++, right? So we have a lot of IDEs available, right? Choosing a good IDE is one of the important factor while you write the codes, right? So it depends on your own choice here. So for the Python, right? So in we have something called idle, which is available in core Python, right? Python.org, right? Just for the reference, in case if you didn't understand, idle is one of the IDE which is available in core Python, right? So if you want to check out, you can check out exactly how it looks like. Then we have PyCharm from JetBrains, I believe, isn't it? So that is from JetBrains. Okay, that is the IDE. Then we have Spider. Then we have Jupyter. Yeah, these are the IDEs that I know, isn't it? And then apart from that, there are a lot of IDEs available, but these are some dedicated IDEs, guys, right? Whereas that depends on the environment you are in. But in my environment, with the team or the colleague that I have, they preferably go with PyCharm mostly, and sometimes Jupyter. Sort of, I would like to see that Google collab. All right, sorry. So guys, as I was telling guys. I will suggest PyCharm for the project development, right? So in case if you're into project development, so go with the PyCharm, and if you're in learning mode, right, go with Jupyter, right? That's what I suggest. So in my sessions, I'll be using Jupyter only, right? So Jupyter is a very beautiful IDE, web-based IDE, which is IPython, right? So IPython is basically the web version of Python, right? So I'm going to show you how Jupyter looks like and how to start with Jupyter. So let's get started, guys. Okay, so here it is. This is Anaconda Navigator, guys. And I'm going to show you, Rekha, what is IPython. So here, this is Anaconda Navigator. Everyone, observe, right? This is Anaconda Navigator. These are various applications which are available to all of you. Okay. In these applications, I'm going to use Jupyter here, right? I'm going to show you how to use Jupyter. But before that, let's proceed further and let's see some more things here. Sorry. On the left side, observe the environment section, guys. Everyone, observe the environment section. In this environment section, I want you to look at this first column, which is name, right? This first name. What are these names? These names are basically the libraries or the modules, right? Both the same thing. So you can see here. So this list basically shows you exactly what modules are available or installed in your Anaconda distribution, right? So this is how we, do it, right? This is how we see it, right? Okay. So this is a list of, modules available with you. Okay. Coming back to the home section, guys, right? Coming back to the home section. Now, I'm going to use Jupyter here, everyone. Jupyter is basically a web-based IDE. It's a web-based environment used for, programming, right? It's used for coding. So I'm going to launch it. So when I click on launch, okay, it is going to launch the Jupyter notebook here. And I believe it is going to use the web browser. Okay. Okay. This is Jupyter, guys. Everyone, right? This is Jupyter. So what is Jupyter? Jupyter is a web-based application. It's a website in simple words where you write the code and you see the output, right? So whatever coding you're going to do with me in all of my sessions is going to happen here in Jupyter, right? So now I'm going to show you how to work on Jupyter, right? How to work on Jupyter. All right, so let's get started. So here, so if you want to start the programming part here, click on the new button and click on Python 3 here, right? Observe everyone, right? So you might need me to repeat this step, but I'm just keeping a pause here for some 2 or 5 seconds here, right? So how you get started, right? So simply click on new and go to Python 3. That's how you do it, right? Okay. So once you do that, it is going to open a new tab, right? So this is your battle area. This is your arena where you're going to, write the codes and you're going to fight with the Python thing, right? So it's super easy. Navigator is not missing, I believe. Navigator is already there, Satya, right? But if it is missing, that is not a big trouble, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to repeat it once again. Okay. So yeah, okay. Let's repeat it, guys, once again. So step 1, open Anaconda Navigator. Once you open or start Anaconda Navigator, you're going to see this window. And this window, we are interested in Jupyter, right? So this is Jupyter. And here, I'm going to click on launch. Once you click on the launch, right? And then I'm going to, it is going to open the Jupyter environment in the browser. On the right corner, you're going to see a new drop down. In the new drop down, you're going to click on Python 3, which is the Python version, right? So I'm just going to click on Python 3 here. Once you click on Python 3, it is going to open a new browser here. It's a new window here, right? And first of all, this window, this browser, right? This is called Notebook, right? Notebook, right? What is the extension of Notebook? IPYNB, right? Notebook. So what you're saying is a notebook behind, okay? And where are the files? Yeah, that is a good question. Where are the files? Okay, where are the files are getting saved? C drive, users, your username, flash here, right? So in case if you want to know exactly by default where the programs are saved, so in your system, C drive, users, and your username slash and there, right? So it's just simple. You can see the extension here, IPYNB. Piyush, that's absolutely true. We don't need internet right now, right? It's a local host, right? It's a local server. And this is IPython, right? Interactive Python. This browser-based IDE is example of IDE. Yeah, that's true, Ajay. We don't need internet. We need internet when we download Anaconda. That's it. Okay. Now here you can see that it says Untitled 17. This is the name of my notebook, which is by default. I'm going to click on this Untitled 17, and it is going to show me a dialog here where I can rename my notebook. So here I'm going to name this as Team Experts. Okay, so this is the name of my notebook. Okay, so here you can see Team Experts. This is called cell, right? This is cell. Okay. Cell, right? This is a cell, is a place where you write code, right? So this is a place where you write code, everyone, right? Okay. Hash is comment in Python, right? So if you want to write comment in Python, for that, what we have here, we have hash, right? Hash is a comment in Python. So it's a single line comment, okay? Let's print a message. So if you want to print a message in Python, it's very easy. So I'll simply write print hello Python words. Okay, leave it. Hello Python. Now, if you want to execute this cell, you need to click on this run button here, right? Run button. What's the beauty of using the Jupyter IDE or Jupyter Notebook is that when you click on the run button, instantly you see the output at the bottom, right? Instantly you see the output at the bottom. You don't need to roam around in different applications and in different windows, right? So done in there at the same time you get the output. Now, apart from that, you get a new cell generated for you where you can write the different sections there, right? So it's like this print hola, and then once again click on run, right? It's like this. Now here, let's use shortcut shift plus enter. So instead of using the button here, I'm going to use a shortcut for executing, right? Shift plus enter. Arpita, as per you, once we execute a cell, the current cell produces the output and a new cell is generated for us so that we can write the next statements of coding. Anurag has a very nice question here. Anurag, please post your questions to attendees as well. That's a request to all of you. Anurag says, do we have uh, IntelliSense suggestions using tab or control space? Yes, we do have. So when I say print, and once you complete or once you start writing the codes, you need to hit tab in your key, right? You need to hit tab in your key. Import. Okay, let me show you. Import numpy as np dot. Okay, come on. Okay, just again, it doesn't likes me today. np dot. Okay, here it is. I think it took some time to generate the list. So how I'm able to generate this auto suggestions? I just press the key tab, right? So once you type some initial letters, hit the tab key. I hope you understood, and I hope this answers your question, Anurag. Okay, so now onwards, I'm not going to use the run button here. You will not see my cursor moving to the run button for executing. I'm going to use what shortcut. Okay, thank you, Raghuvaran. Apart from that, there is a small alert for all of you. There is something called kernel here, right? What is a kernel? Kernel is basically the engine, right? Kernel is the engine which is responsible for interpreting our Python codes, right? It's an engine which is eating the Python and producing the output. Okay. So once again, kernel is the engine which is eating Python codes, which is receiving the Python codes as the input and producing the output. In the first session or in the second session, you will not find kernel crashes, right? So in your case, it will not happen because the kind of programming that we'll do in first and second session doesn't crashes the kernel. But after the sessions, after the second sessions, the kind of programming that we're going to do may crash the kernel, right? It happens because of the developer errors only, and sometimes system errors. So in case if your notebook is not responding to you, right? In case if your notebook is not responding to you, you are suggested to restart the kernel. Okay, this is just a troubleshooting tip that I want to give to all of you. Okay, in case if you feel that okay, this is not working, so restart the kernel. I hope you got the point. Okay, now here let's talk about basic data structures in Python. Yeah, sure, Rekha. I will just repeat, right? You know, okay, a troubleshooting tip here. Generally, what happens basically when when we do the programming, sometimes our notebook stops responding, right? Even after pressing the shift enter or even after executing a cell, we will not get the output. It happens because the kernel has crashed. What is a kernel? A kernel is basically an engine which is responsible for running the Python codes that we are typing here. So in case if you're not getting the responses from the notebook, what you can do is you can simply go to the kernel menu and you can simply click on restart. So what this will do, this will restart the kernel, and you will once again start getting the responses, right? So Rekha, did you understand exactly what I'm talking about now? Okay, thank you. Okay, okay, I'll repeat it. Thank you, Rekha, for that. Okay, now Lakshmi, in those cases, kernel is basically belongs to web-based Pythons, web-based environment, right? So in real-world applications, we don't have web-based things here. Yeah, Aman, that's true. That's true. Manish, okay, I'll repeat it once again. Okay, in case, okay, troubleshooting tip, right? Troubleshooting tip. In case if notebook stops responding, means not getting output. Solution, restart the kernel, right? Restart the kernel. So restart it, right? Okay. Mohan says, can you please repeat how to install Anaconda in Python? Mohan, I will definitely tell you how to install Anaconda in Python. Just allow me at the end of the session. I'll just keep this in my mind that I will tell you this thing again, once again. Okay. Okay, everyone. Let's talk about the basic data structures in Python here, right? Okay. Okay, that's great. So here it goes like this. So I'm going to use some variables here, right? So it's like name equals to Mona Lisa and print the name here. You can see that this is a variable, right? So in Python, we do not mention data types explicitly, right? So it's like this. Okay. So we don't say string name, right? We don't say char array name, right? So it's dynamic typing, Lakshmi. That's true. That's a nice word actually, right? So it's dynamic typing. That basically means that we don't specify the data type. So it's like this. So like let's say age 21, price 24.30, is human, true, right? So it's like this, right? So we have print name, we have print age, we have print price, we have print is human, right? So you can see here, guys, right? So each and everything is present in front of you. Okay. Okay, Vijaya, there is a question from Vijaya. She says that how is using single quotes different from using double quotes for a string? In Python, double and single quote doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter, right? Whether you are writing, including the string or the characters in double quotes or single quotes. It doesn't matter at all. It matters in case of triple quotes, right? Okay, my life. It is amazing and full of adventure. Triple quote allows line breaks. So here it is like this, right? So Vijaya, okay, and everyone in Python, the double quotes and single quotes doesn't matter. Both are same thing, right? But in Python, there is something called triple quotes. Now, single quotes, double quotes, triple quotes, all are strings, all are characters. But the major difference in single triple quotes is that triple quotes allows you line breaks. Now, Charan says we do have arrays in Python. Charan, specifically, I'll not say array in Python. I'll say that we do have all types of array in Python, and arrays are specifically present in one of the library in Python, which is called NumPy, and that is a dedicated session uh, in our Python series. Raghu, what you declare is actually possible, but just give me some time so that I can show it to you in a proper session, because it is going to confuse right now. Dharini, okay, Raghu, deal, done. So, okay, what's happening in my life? Okay, fine. Okay, that was a beautiful error. Everyone, a small alert. You know, I'll just show you something here, right? Another equals to 100. So if I print another, see guys, I'm getting error here, right? Now this is an alert for all of you. This is a common mistakes that participants can do. What is this common mistake? In my above cell, I declared the variable, but I did not execute the cell. Everyone, listen to me carefully, right? I declared the variable. I declared the variable, but I did not execute the cell, right? And in the second cell, I tried to use a variable which was not executed, right? Which was not generated in memory. So don't do this, right? I hope everyone got it. Okay. Okay, so there's a very good question from Kapoor. He says that is there any way to identify whether a cell is executed or not? And here you can see this number. This number will keep on increasing, right? Uh, I hope you got it. Okay. Hey, Charan, can you repeat? Can you please re-raise a question? I did. I missed, I think, something. Okay. Okay, yes, got it. So what I'm trying to say here is that I declared a variable here, right? I declared a variable here, but it doesn't gets created in memory until and unless I execute the cell. If I don't execute the cell, another variable cannot be accessed, right? Because it doesn't exists. Charan, you have a very good question. Charan says, Charan, can you post the questions to attendees as well, right? That will help the attendees as well. Lakshmi, thank you for that statement. Python errors are quite explanatory. And okay. Okay. So Charan has a question here. He says that if we create an array, right? So will that array be of same data type, or it can allow multiple data types? So the answer is that in Python, an array can contain multiple values belonging to different data types, right? So that is there. So now how it happens is a part of our second session. So in my second session, that is probably for tomorrow, you all are going to understand exactly all your doubts will be vanished on my second session, right? So just allow me to deliver that content, and I promise you all will be satisfied. Vilas, that's true. Vilas, can you please post a sentence to attendees as well? Hey everyone, right? Every time repeating, right? Please abide by the law of nature. Please post the questions to all attendees as well. Satya, we need to check the error, right? Okay. Okay, that's great. Hey guys, Lakshmi, that's true. There is a D type, right? But even the NumPy error are type safe, right? And somewhere they're not also, because it's a kind of mixed thing. Okay. Accepting input from user. So this is something which I need to tell to all of you. Charan, that is a part of session now. I'm going to discuss this thing right now. So guys, this is a very basic thing, exactly, right? How to accept input from user and how to print it, right? So for that, we have a beautiful function here, and that is input, right? Hey fella, what people call you, right? So this is this is an input function, what it does, let's see here, right? So input function is basically, used to accept the input from user, right? So okay, Satya, as per your question, it's a training strategy, Satya, right? So it's a training strategy. I divide the things and deliver the content in splits so that it becomes easy for the participants to handle the content. It's like this. Otherwise, I can push the complete code in one single cell, but it is going to be messy, isn't it? So that's how it goes. Like it's non-technical thing. Okay, fine. Dhaval, stdine.read is a very core function, right? So it's a very core function specific to devices, right? So input is an abstract function on top of it. Yeah, we can do that, but let me just give some simple suggestions here, right? So simple things. So input is a function which does two things here. It basically displays the content, whatever you pass, right? And parallelly, uh, parallelly, uh, we it accepts the input as well, right? So it's like this. So it's like John Mayer. So yeah, that's how it goes like. And I'm going to store this input here, and I'm going to print hi, and then I'm going to use name here, right? So it's like this, and I'm going to Robert, right? So it's like this, hi Robert, right? So it's a very simple content, right? It's a very simple thing here. So, I hope you understood, right, how we accept the input, how we store it, and how we print it, right? So here I'm using plus for the concatenation, right? Okay, and then yeah, let's do some math here, right? Some math here, right? So okay, let's do some math here, right? So let's accept an integer. Let's accept an integer, right? Okay. So here, let's say a number. What I'm going to do is number equals to input, uh, enter number, right? So okay, so it says enter number, print num. So I said 5, so it says 5, right? So it's like this. But I want to show you something, you guys, everyone, right? Listen to me carefully, everyone. I want to show you something here. I'm going to use a function here called type, right? So there's a function called type here. Type is a function used to check the data type, or check, or you can say retrieve, right? So Python is a loose language, guys, everyone. Python is a loosely typed language, right? So when I say loosely typed, you never know exactly what a variable is holding, right? You never know what a variable is holding. So if you want to check what exactly this variable is containing, right? For this, we have a function called type, right? So in Linux, we have an equivalent function called file. There's a command called file. In Linux, I'll give you an example. In Linux, file command is used to check what exactly is the type of that particular file. So whether it's a JPG file or PNG file or a CSV file kind of thing. So in the same way, in Python, we have type function. Okay, let's see. Let's check out what this prints. Type. Hey everyone. So you can see here it prints class str, right? So when it says str basically means string, and in Python everything is an object, right? In Python everything is an object, right? So everything is an object, right? So when everything is an object, a class will always be there, isn't it? It's like this, right? So a class will always be there. So this 5 is not a number, it's not an integer, right? It's a string. So it is a common thing with all the programming languages, guys, right? Remember in C sharp and in in Java even, right? So whenever you accept input from a user, all the inputs are by default taken in the form of string, isn't it? So the problem with that string is that you cannot do the math with string, I get your point, isn't it? The problem with string is that you cannot do the math with string. So what you need here, you need a formula which is called typecasting, right? Type conversion, right? So how we do it? It's very easy, right? So int. So I'm going to use a function here called int, right? And I'm going to place parentheses here, right? So when I'm placing int here, what does it means? I'm basically converting the input from string to integer. So if I do the same thing now, you can see that it is right now integer. Yeah, Lakshmi. Okay. So in that case, Lakshmi, we're going to see an exception, right? So for that, we need to learn how to handle exceptions in Python, right? That's the solution that we have, right? Okay. So we learned two things here, guys. Right? We learned two things here. Right? One is okay. I'll just show you two things. One, how to convert input from or how to do typecasting, right? How to do typecasting, right? Second is like how to identify the type, right? So this is something that we all need to learn, right? So this session is not specifically to solve exactly how to do 2 plus 1, right? This not I'm not aiming for that, right? I'm not aiming for uh, you know telling you the specific solutions, right? So here this is a formula based learning, right? Okay, Komal, that's a very nice question. How memory usage works in Python. It really feels bad to tell you in the beginning session, Komal and everyone, that Python is really very bad at memory management, right? It's very bad at memory management, and it eats the memory like anything, right? And we do have solutions for that. Don't worry. So in my sessions, I'm going to, you know, uh, you know, what do you call that? I'm going to expose the solutions of how we do better memory managements with proof of work, right? It will be there. Cool. Okay. So let's do some math here, right? Okay. So it's like num, right? So it's like num is a number. So print num into num, right? So the square is right, comma num into num. Oops, I missed a parenthesis here, right? So 5. So let's say the square is 25. So this is how it goes like. But guys, did you observe a difference here, guys? Did you observe in some change here, right? In the printing? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, that's true. A comma. Here I want to bring your observation. Here I want to bring your focus to the comma thing here. Right? So this comma is good. We do have access specified feature in Python, but not like public and private. Right? Yeah, there's a different style. Don't worry, I'll tell you. Right, that's the part. Okay, so comma, right? So comma, I'm not using plus here, everyone, right? So I'm using a comma here because plus demands operands to be of strictly string type, right? So I'm not using plus here, guys. I'm using comma here, right? Comma is something which is flexible here, but comma is worse in many cases. So I'm going to show you some better solutions for this, right? Okay. Okay. So this is like a plus demands operands to be strictly of string type. So in my case, one of the operand is string, but another is integer. So I cannot use comma here. So I need to use comma. I cannot use plus here. I need to use comma. Or if I want to use plus here, so I can use string conversion. So I can use a string conversion here, guys. Right. So you can see here I'm using a function called str. So str is a function used to convert object into string, right? So it's like this. So now you can apply some, common sense here, like int for integer conversion, float for float conversion, string for string conversion, and bool for boolean conversion, right? So it's like this. Yeah, Nishan, dot format can also be used here, right? So it's like this: print the square is dot format num into num. Okay, so we do have this dot format function, right? Dot format function is basically used like a place identifier, right? It's like this. We do like in C and C++. Remember, we used to do like person, person D, and person C like that. So that's kind of thing. Okay, just give me a moment, guys. I've got a lot of questions here. So how we do addition, Shivam? That's easy. I'll tell you, right? So Charan says, why you again mention it in first line of code? I can get it. What are you saying? Okay, that's fine, Charan, with me, right? That's fine. Sorry. Parin, for that, you need to, go through the documentation. Parin wanted to know exactly from where he can, find the list of all these functions. So you can go to the Python documentation. That is a good source, or you can simply, find the Python cheat sheet. That will be helpful. But all these things are good once you do the fundamentals properly, right? So don't go for all these things in the initial phase. Thank you, Vinod, for lovely URL, but you have posted to panelists only. Share it with attendees as well. Yeah, Pratik, curly brace is always blank. Lakshmi plus is for concatenation. Vibha, dot format is a function which is basically, used to, simplify the process of concatenation, right? Imagine you have 10 variables and you want to concat them all. And just visualize the sentence with, many pluses, right? So there will be a lot of plus, plus, and plus. So if you want to, simplify the concatenation, for that we use format. Yeah, Anurag, garbage collection is always there, right? It is there, right? So garbage collection is there in Python in three stages: stage one, two, and three. So it prioritizes, it basically releases the objects from the memory. Okay. Yeah, Lakshmi, that's something which is which is also there, right? So I appreciate additional things there. Okay. I'm going to the Q&A section, guys. Let's see what we have here. Lakshmi Narayan Sahu, you have posted a really nice sentence here. Scala is 10 times faster than Java. I do agree with that. Scala beats Java and Python also. But everybody has the choices, right? It doesn't matter if something is good, then everybody will be behind it, right? So not everyone, owns every good thing, isn't it? So there are various factors, Lakshmi Narayan, because of which we stick to some things, right? And Python is also a good choice. I hope that answers your question, Lakshmi Narayan Sahu. Okay. Thank you, Ajay, for your lovely response. Mona Lisa, I believe in your case of installation, Anaconda installation, can you once again re-verify the prerequisite or the software requirements of the latest Anaconda? I haven't checked it, the latest one. So I request you to please, just go through the documentation software requirement process, right? So even some good people have also, and some team members have also, applied very well. Okay. Mona, in case if you're not getting it, I encourage you to download the Python core version. That will also help us. Right? That is enough for today for our crash course. Right? I'll tell you how to do the manual installations of the modules. Thank you, Yash, for your lovely responses. The default data will be integer, Ankita. Yes, Pratik, you can use Eclipse. Just find out the plugin for that, right? Mohan, yeah, installation process, please. Okay. Mohan, okay, I'm just going off with your question right now. Mohan says that he wants to know the installation process. So, Mohan, here it goes like, okay, step one, go to anaconda.com, right? Okay, .com, right? So, here it goes like, where are you, Anaconda? Here it goes like, so here is anaconda.com. And on the right side, go to the download section. You don't require, I don't require you to follow the steps parallelly. You have the recorded session of this. Okay, I'll just tell you quickly exactly. Go to the download section, and at the bottom, according to your requirement, it says Windows, Mac, and Linux. So go click on the Windows, right? We did not observe this last time. So click on the Windows, right? So make sure you have, in case if you're using the Windows version, and download the Python 3.7 for Windows one, right? So it's like this. Thank you, Satya, for that lovely response. That's great. I really appreciate the teamwork here, guys. I really have a good team of people here, right? That's really appreciated. Great. And for Linux, we have this here, right? So it's like this. Okay. Yes, Charan, we do have multi-threading in Python, right? We do have that thing. Okay. So guys, can I ask my participants, is there any other question, any other doubts here? Okay. Now with this point, right, I would like to conclude this session in case if you don't have any questions. Satya, you have a question here. He says that how to avoid variable overriding. Satya, can you explain variable overriding? I have heard of function overriding, but what is variable overriding? I might not be getting the context here. Pawan, the limitations of Python. As far as I know, I don't find limitations of Python because it provides solutions to almost everything. But I'll definitely check it out. Right, in my development career, I did not find an as such, which which was such complicated or such complex to sustain in my history of or memories. Right? Dharini dot format is for concatenation in a standard way. Lakshmi, yes, we do use it for enterprise programming. Lakshmi, we do have many enterprise products available, such as let's say Netflix or YouTube. Right? So these are good products available in the market. Yes, you'll have recording. Okay, okay, guys, a lot of questions coming here. I might be okay. Dharini, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm just trying my best to answer as much as I can. Multi-threading in Python basically means you know uh, defining multiple threads or getting multiple threads working parallelly. So if you want to understand this multi-threading, first of all you need to understand how to or what is threads first of all, right? Okay. Lakshmi, multiprocessing is also good. I'll call it multitasking, right? Okay. Okay, that's great. Anuran, Java rules the enterprise market. That is actually true, but why it rules the market? Because in the era when Java was launched, there was no such strong competition which was given to Java at that time. So during the tenure of let's say 10 years or 15 years, the market was captured by Java, and obviously the customers will be huge in that case still, because 15 years is a long period to you know to capture the market, right? So nowadays, not everyone is going with Java, right? Dharini, threading. Dharini, uh, you'll see, you'll feel that, let's say an example of Android application, Dharini. When you use Android, you see that, when you open any application, you see that that application is actually, interacting to you, in many ways. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're getting notifications from Paytm, and parallelly, some app update is going on, and parallelly you're, listening to the music. So how things are running parallelly, that's because of multiple threads. Although these are different applications, but in a single application, when we perform multiple activities parallelly, that is enabled by a concept called threads, right? Sorry. Tinu, the advantages of Python, right? I'll say it like this: what a Java programmer does in 4 hours, that same thing can be done by a Python programmer in 15 minutes. I can assure you that. Import. The layer saying import. Import is a keyword that's used for importing, library or a module like this. Pawan, I do agree with your point also. The longer the time is spent on a technology, the more vast a community is bound to happen. It is happening with Python, it is happening with Java, it is happening with PHP, it is happening with everyone. Yes, only Python is case sensitive. Okay. Himaja, you need to go through the python.org website and just you'll find there. Mayank, in our course, we are not focusing on Python frameworks, but we are focusing on some popular modules or libraries, I'll say, such as Pandas, NumPy, and all. Charan, I do agree with your point. Functions are used to reduce the size of code. I don't think so. Function, sorry, Charan, functions are not used to reduce the lines of code. Functions are used to modularize or distributes the code into small segments, right? And Python actually has the codes which reduces, the, you can say, number of lines, right? Because of its functions availability and the kind of functions behavior, right? And nowadays, Java is also adopting the behaviors from Python, right? You can see in the JDK version 9, 10, 11, a lot of things have been inspired from Python programming. Okay. Yeah, Neha, it is always there, right? So it cannot happen that there are rare cases when you will find that, okay, Python is not having something, right? There are rare cases. Charan, yes, absolutely yes. Reusability is there in Python, and it is one of the fundamental feature of any programming, Charan. So it is always there. However, I agree with your point. It takes more memory, but I'll tell you why. Why it takes more memory? The core factor which affects the consumption of memory in Python environment is its internal structure of existing as an object, right? So when we talk about as an object, basically there's an environment of classes and attributes, right? There's an environment of inheritance even, right? So due to inheritance, classes, concepts, properties, they all are going to eat memory once any object is initialized. That's the reason. And to solve these issues, we do have other modules available which we will be using, right? I'll be telling you exactly how we do that in our session, right? So that is a part actually. We have a dedicated session on this. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it supports interfaces, but not in that sense. I'll say C5257. Python style of object orientation is kind of weird, right, compared to Java. So in this case, I will say, like for other participants also, that the object-oriented representation of Java is better, right, than Python. I'll say that, right. Although I'm taking the session for Python, but something which is true, it's true. Python doesn't expresses OOP in a better way compared to Java. That's always there. No, Vivek, thread are not covered in this Python course. You know, because this course is specifically designed keeping the data science in mind, keeping the all these data structures and data analytics in mind, right? So it's like that. Okay, Satya, for that you can define a structure, right? So I'll show you exactly in my next session how we do that, right? So I'll prepare a proper demo on that. Don't worry. Vivek, I think I have answered your question on threads, I believe. Okay, guys, in case if I've missed any question from any participant, please excuse me for that, right? You can repeat the question, right? Okay, so guys, I hope everybody got the answers, right? Now this is the time to conclude the session. In case if there are any other questions, please feel free to ask the questions. I'm always here to answer, and as I said that whatever I know, I'm willing to share with my participants here, right? So okay, so I can see a lot of thanks, here, guys, a lot of smileys even, right? So I really had a very great session. I hope you also had a great session. Make sure uh, uh, you practice, and I encourage that in my next session, do the practicals parallelly, guys. Get ready with the practicals, guys. Over to you, Pranav.
So thank you, Rajan, for the very informative session. Thank you all the attendees for joining in so late in the evening. And have a great day, guys. Good night.